Hey, it's Sharon here, and in this video I'm going to give you a peek inside our Power Networking for Results program. This is a Blaze level product, so it has quite a bit of content, and I'll walk you through each of the folders. Now, firstly, what you're looking at is the different folders already unzipped. So when you download your file from your My Account page, you'll need to extract or unzip, and just contact us if you're not sure how to do that at support@contentsparks.com. So you'll see after you unzip everything that there are three main folders: a Facilitator Materials folder that has everything for teaching the program, Participant Materials, which is for your learners, that's the core content, and Promotional Material, that is for promoting and selling your course, as well as a couple other files we'll look at. So starting at the top, the Facilitator Materials has some email follow-ups that you'd use to build relationships with your learners, your customers, after you deliver the course. I'll give you a quick peek at that just in the preview pane. And this is essential for afterwards to build that relationship that'll have people coming back to you over and over again to buy more, to buy services or other products. Then there's a course evaluation form that you can send out to people or hand out right after you deliver your program in whatever form it is, so that you can get feedback and continuously improve. Then there's the Facilitator Guide next in the list, and this has all sorts of information in it to help you deliver the course, as well as a copy of the speaker notes, which I'll show you in the slides in a minute. And let me just open this for you so that you can see. If I'll go into the very beginning, be able to show you the table of contents here, you'll see that in the Facilitator Guide there's a course overview, description of your target audience, learning objectives for the course, delivery options, a list of materials you might need for different delivery options, suggested timing, which is obviously going to change based on how you deliver the course and how much you add or subtract, some skills and knowledge you need, a link to tutorials that we have on our site, suggested resources, and then, like I said, the slides and speaker notes, which let me show you in here. I put onto 2 pages. It has on each page the slides and the speaker notes that you can use for a script or as the basis for a script, along with a few other instructions. So you can easily add in your own, or I'll show you in a second that you can use that in the slides themselves. But before I go to the slides, let me show you there's also a mind map overview of the course, and this is done in FreeMind. So you can open that and edit it in either FreeMind or any program, any mind mapping program that's compatible with FreeMind. So it's a nice bird's eye view for moving things around and seeing exactly what you're getting. So now let me look at the slides with you. I'll open those up, and you can see that each one has those notes that are also in the Facilitator Guide, and they're underneath each slide in that notes section. So you could use it this way and have your script and edit things this way rather than in the guide and see what goes with which. It really just keeps things flexible based on how you like to deliver a course, whether it's video, live, webinar, workshop, and you'll see there are different graphics in here. And at the end of each module there's a slide to remind you to ask questions, one that has the learning activity, I'll show you that when we go through the participant materials, and a slide to remind you to debrief and actually discuss the activities, which is really important when you have it live, because a lot of the learning comes out that way when there's discussion. So let me close that up, and let's see if there's anything we missed in here. There are 2 other files in the Facilitator Material folder. One is instructions for using your new content, so step-by-step things that you'll need to do once you've downloaded it, and deciding how you'll actually use it, some different ideas for customizing the content and packaging it up. And then finally there's a file called Top Ways to Deliver Your Content, which gives you some tips on how to decide what the best way is to deliver it to your audience and what some of the ways are. So let's go back up again and look at the next folder, which is the Participant Materials. And you can see this is also divided up into different folders with the different content, starting with the course book, which is the core content, and let me open that up for you as well. This has all the content that people need to learn for each one of the modules. So this would be the basis of, say, a self-study book. And if we zoom in a little more, you can see that there's a header and footer as well, where you can customize and put in your name, your company name, your URL, change the title, anything like that. And going back again, you'll see it's all nicely formatted but easy to change. And at the end of each module, you'll see there's some graphics in here, but at the end there's a learning activity in each one, and I'll show you the workbook in a minute where people actually fill in the answers. So let's close that up and go back up again, and as I said, there are some graphics in there that illustrate some of the key points in the modules, and you could use these as handouts as well. There's an infographic that is a reminder you could use as a handout as well, as a reminder of some of the things they learned, or use it in your promotion materials. There's some great resources to hand out to people, including a list of different events or places to find events, lists of resources if they want to learn more about networking, and a list of sample questions they can use for really generating conversations with people at networking events, which is how some people get stuck. They just don't know how to get a discussion going. So here are a list of different questions they could use and give them ideas for more questions they can ask. Then there's the slides handout. This is just a document that has all the slides in it with notes, with lines next to it for people to be able to take notes while you're presenting. There's a summary checklist. This is a great kind of cheat sheet of all the key points from the course. So you could give this out at the end, say for people that participated in the whole program or sat through the whole webinar, read all the emails, depending on how you deliver this, or maybe as a resource on your membership site for people to remind them afterwards of what they learned. And finally, there's the workbook, which I mentioned before, people use to fill in the answers to their learning activities. There's one for each one of the learning activities in here with spaces to fill in answers. And this is a great takeaway for them afterwards to remind them of what they did and to use moving forward, because a lot of this is planning on how they're going to do their networking. That's everything in the participant materials. The final folder in here is the promotional materials, and again you'll see there are a lot of different folders, a lot of content. Everything is set up so that you can do a funnel that actually promotes your course and leads people, builds a relationship before you sell it so that you can make more sales. And let's see what some of that content is. There are blog posts, which obviously don't need to be used as blog posts. You could use them as the basis for emails, reports, articles, and there's a lot of good information in here that's not in the course, so definitely make use of this. E-covers is just some templates you can use in Photoshop. If you want to create your own e-covers and have a layout ready for you, just switch out the images and use something like Boxshot King to generate a 3D, or just go to Fiverr.com and get someone to make it for you. There are quote images, which you can just change the quote, add your branding, change the image, make it into a slideshow, just post it on social media, anything you want. There are editable sales page and squeeze page files in here, and the sales page has some text separately, so if you use another plugin or program for creating your sales pages, like Lead Pages or OptimizePress, just take the text, use that as the basis, and edit it. Let's see, there are some tips. These are follow-up emails to the opt-in report, which I'll show you in a second. So use these as the basis for your follow-ups after people have opted in to help promote the course. There's an infographic that has some of the tips from the report, so you can use that and edit it if you'd like to help with promotion on visual sites or social media sites. And of course there's the opt-in report itself, which is a list of 120 tips for networking. So tips are great, people just love them, and they're also very versatile, flexible for creating other content. For instance, you could take all 120, use them as a topic for different emails, and have a year's worth of emails that you send out every few days. Just take the topic and build it up a bit and you have your emails. Or of course use them as the actual opt-in report, or even just a handout if you're not doing an opt-in and you already have people in a program. The last file here, folder, are the tweets, which are also tips. You don't have to use them as tweets. You could use them as posts on other social media or anywhere you need content. You could even put them on an image just with a colored background and some nice fonts and share them on social media that way. And that's everything in the promotion material folder. There are just a couple last files I'll give you a peek at. One is the contents and outlines, and this is a Word document that has a list of everything you're getting in the actual product, so the participant materials, facilitator materials, promotion materials. So it's easy to forget what exactly you have because there is so much content. And then there are outlines of each one of the modules, which is really handy when you might want to rewrite it or reorganize it so that you can see at a high level what you're getting. The very last file is the read first file, which I'm showing you last, but you should read first. And that has a summary of the actual rules for the content that you're downloading, as well as a couple other important links in here. So that's everything. Let me know if you have any questions, and take care.